So I've just made a video about what a great place rugby's in on the pitch. The game is fantastic. The product is fantastic. We've come off the Lions tour. We're into the Rugby Championship. We're now into the semi-finals of the Women's World Cup where the four big teams are facing each other. Then we build up to the November internationals, and of course the Rugby Prem, the English Rugby Prem's coming, which is the league that I watch the most. And then we go into the Six Nations, and I've got a lot of rugby to watch. I'm excited. The product's good. I'm happy. And then we get a reminder that R360 is a thing, and it is happening. I have done a video on this before, but no, there's a bit more detail in here, and this video is based on a really good article in The Guardian by Matt Hughes, going through the status of R360 as it stands at the moment, and the fact that it will start next year. Now, of course, we know that one of the co-founders is Mike Tindall, a highly respected international for England, a bit of a legend of the game. Will this affect his standing in the game? Very possibly. It's affected Greg Norman's standing in golf, going in with Liv. But on one hand, I do respect the audacity here. I do respect the fact that rugby isn't owned by World Rugby or governing bodies. Sport should be for everyone, so they have the right to do this. But is it the best thing to do for rugby? Is it really going to make rugby better? Mike Tindall's talking about shaking rugby up, but I'm liking how it is now. But am I just too stuffy and set in my ways? And do I need to expand my horizons? Well, let's go through this article and pick some things out as it stands at the moment. So we can see the back of the headline here saying, how ready is R360 really? And that is a big question. If we scroll down, we can see a picture of Twickenham there, and R360 will need approval of governing bodies if they want to use rugby stadia. And that is interesting. Do they have to use rugby stadia? No. Do they have to get the sanctioning by World Rugby? Maybe not. But it would be a hell of a lot harder if they didn't. And I just can't see a world where World Rugby will want this to happen. They don't have to sanction it. They could just say, you need to sort it out yourself, meaning you can't use stadiums probably, you can't use our referees, our structures. No, we're not going to be promoting it in any way, but if you want to sort out everything yourself, insurance and all that sort of stuff, then you go for it, but we don't want anything to do with it. So they were going to apply for sanctioning this month. They don't think they're ready, and I understand they want to be as ready as they can be to get all the information in front of World Rugby. Would they approve it? I just don't know. I can't see how it would be within their interest to approve it. But anyway, that's what they're going to do at some point, and they haven't done it now. Is it a setback? Possibly, but I understand they'll want to do it at the best time for them. Then we come on to some information saying 160 players have signed pre-contract agreements. That is interesting, 160. So that's a lot of players, and these are just agreements saying that we are interested, and it's not actually saying we have to do it and they could pull out and all that sort of thing. And then there is an interesting number in here, £740,000 for a 16-match season. Now, this would be the top earners. Not everyone, but still it looks like there's going to be some big six-figure salaries for most of the players, I imagine, and it would need to be big to draw them away from the clubs they're at, some of them on decent wages already, and also they know they're going to get a lot of backlash for jumping ship, if you like, and they probably can't play for their countries if they do that. If they're kind of internationals who no longer play for their country, then that's slightly different. And for Liv, players went over because they had a massive pay packet. They knew they were going to get backlash, but the prospect of getting that sort of cash, setting yourself up for life, if they weren't already, to be honest, is just impossible to turn down. And 740,000, over maybe 2 seasons, 3 seasons, if you get that a few times, that is a life-changing amount of money for 16 matches. That really isn't very much when you consider, say, top 14, 26 matches in season plus the playoffs, and that really is hardly anything. And then obviously internationals on top of that, maybe, and tours. So you're getting a lot of money for less work. And then we get a figure of 75% of potential recruits having played international rugby, and 10 of them are for England. And I imagine quite a few of them are, like I said, retired internationals, but still they're going to be luring people away who could play for their country at the moment, and eventually, if it goes well for them, I'm sure they will be starting to pull players away from their country before they've played for their country or in the middle of it. So, it is going to get into a live sort of state if it carries on like this, but certainly they're saying they've got a lot of players lined up, and with that sort of money for that short of a season, you can understand why. And then we scroll down and it shows that R360 is running out of time a bit to get approval from World Rugby. And like I said, I just don't understand why they would. Obviously, they want to get financials in place and that sort of thing. But we've got a figure of 40 leading internationals being promised that top salary. We've got a couple of names there as well. Roger Tuisova-Sheck to come over to Rugby Union, then back to League. And they're going to try and lure him back. And there could be quite a few players coming over from League who have played Rugby Union. So that could be a way of getting more players in. And then they talk about where they're getting this money from. So a Switzerland-based investment company. Now, there are loads of massive investment companies out there with loads of cash in the world. It's kind of obscene how much money is out there. Now, considering obviously people are struggling to live and stuff like that, there is still an obscene amount of money out there in the world looking to invest in different places. And if they think there's money to be made, these investment companies will go for it. But it is different from Live, where you have the Saudi investment fund who is doing it not really for profit, certainly in the short to medium term. They are losing money. They continue to lose money, and I can't see how they're not going to continue to lose money. But they can suck it up because they don't really need to, because they've got so much money to start with, and a lot of their ventures into sport are more of a PR exercise anyway. I'm pretty sure this Switzerland-based investment company, plus anyone else who comes on board, are not there for the PR. They are there for the returns, at least in the medium to long term. So that beggars the question, how on earth is Rugby 360 or R360, I'm assuming the R is Rugby, is going to make money to get these investment companies happy? Because if it's not going to happen, I can see them pulling out very quickly, because they're not just there to look good. And then we have a section with some figures here, some forecasts from R360 with some big revenue numbers, 275 million in the first year, and then they're saying that will go up a lot. And then we have comments from other investors saying that's pretty crazy. Other startups like this, it's only the IPL, the Indian Premier League, that has really made that sort of money. Other things, SailGP, Formula E, which just didn't really catch on, didn't do it. So why would Rugby do it when actually it's not the biggest worldwide sport? So it seems optimistic, and again, you admire their ambition, but it does seem a little bit pie in the sky. And then the other question is, can they sell out stadia? They've got to do it to make money, to look good as well. They're not going to be cheap tickets. Then we have a really interesting quote from an executive at Twickenham, a nameless one, saying that we can't really sell tickets for the Barbarians. We can't pack out Twickenham for that, and that has a lot of the best players in the world, which R360 says it's going to have. So if we can't do it for the Barbars, which has a long existing history, if not massive association emotionally, how can they do it for R360, which has absolutely no association with anywhere traditionally? And I think the next quote is really the point that I make as well. It's not just about star players, it's fans wanting to watch games that have meaning. Yeah, I like rugby, but there's quality rugby on display. The standard is unbelievable, and I love the fact it means something. Countries playing countries, the Lions getting together traditionally, clubs with loads of tradition. I mean, that is the argument in Wales. If you change the club system and you get rid of meaning, then is it really worth doing? And this just will not have any meaning. There's no way to create meaning. Certainly in the short term, it would have to run for ages to get some meaning. I'm just struggling to see the benefit to rugby. I think lots of people are going to make money off this. They're being paid already to do this, executives, Tindall himself, but do they really think it's going to make the product better on the pitch and make people care more and fit some niche that isn't being filled already? Then it comes on to the topic of media rights and TV, which is of course huge in making money for any league or any competition. They're hoping to get some big media rights and obviously make some money, but TV wise they say they're going to go for YouTube, and that is really interesting. They're trying to make it free. And that makes a lot of sense for a startup, because you want to get eyeballs on it to create the excitement, and making it free on the most watched platform in the world is absolutely a really good idea. Plus, are they going to get a big TV deal or streaming deal when it's never happened before? No, so that seems a good business move. give it for free for a year or two, and then maybe try and get a decent broadcast deal after that. But they will be losing money by doing that, of course. But if it's free on YouTube, yeah, I'll probably watch it, absolutely. Am I going to care about it? No, but I'm going to watch it. And will I start caring? I doubt it, but I mean, who knows, I guess. And then we come on to the subject of franchises, and this is an area where I can see them making a lot of their money back for sure, if there's enough people, enough companies, enough businesses, enough investment groups that want to actually buy a franchise. That'll be fascinating. And if they buy it for a year or two, are they going to want to carry it on? That's another question as well. They've completed their tender, it's going out to bidders, and they want 25 million for one of the 8 men's and 10 million for one of the 4 women. So it's going to be fascinating to see if people go for it. We've got the Liverpool owner, Fenway Sports, saying those who are interested, but they're going to have to get people to buy these franchises. If they don't, it's not going to work. Would they run it with less teams to start with? I'm sure they would, because they've just got to get this thing off the ground. Are they going to get the approval of World Rugby? I just can't see it, but we will see in the summer next year. And a good quote here from Red Bull, or a good comment to finish on from Red Bull. They were offered the opportunity, but they dismissed it and focused on buying Newcastle Falcons instead. Now, Newcastle Falcons, is that a big money-making machine? Is it going to go all around the world to big cities? No, absolutely not. So why are they focusing on Newcastle Falcons, not on this glitzy new franchise? Well, probably because it's got history, it's got an established fan base, and it means something. And it's probably a fair bit cheaper as well, for one thing, and they can build from it. And they're not interested in speculating on this R360 league before it's proven itself anyway. Okay, that is my take on the article. Really interesting article. It does go on a little bit as well. Please do read it from The Guardian there. A really interesting bit of sports journalism from Matt Hughes, but please let me know your comments down below. Those are my thoughts. It is coming, and it is scaring me slightly. I try and push it to the back of my mind, and then I get reminded by articles like this, and this is something that could be massive in rugby. Comments below. Do like, do subscribe. Put on the bell icon as well if you like these sorts of reaction videos, and I'll catch you next time.